What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mind Flux podcast. Today we have an amazing interview with a very powerful young woman. As always, we're downtown in Indianapolis. Audio brought by Benji Got Beats. Visuals brought by Cheddar Ches. I'm one of your hosts, T Parm Teach, and my other host,
J Matt. Bow. Almost spaced out right there.
Almost spaced out. So why don't you go ahead and tell them about the interview and everything that's about to happen? Yeah,
definitely. So super excited for you guys to tune in for this interview that we have for you right here. We have 24-year-old Christianna Hurt, owner of Wealthy College Kid. She's been able over the past couple years to be able to, earn 7 figures online, have over 43,000 people enroll into her Wealthy College Kids courses. So this episode will be packed with a bunch of value coming from someone, with real results and out here really doing it, especially at a young age. So pretty excited for you guys to hear it.
Yep. So we recorded on Zoom and we're going to roll the clip. See you guys in a minute.
Yo, what's up, guys? So today is a very, very special episode. We have Christianna Hurt on today. I'm super excited about this. And just to give you some insight on how I even started to follow you, they actually went back to 10X GrowthCon. It was funny because I was talking to somebody who I was networking with, and then they pointed you out and was like, yeah, she made 7 figures and she's super successful at a young age. And I looked over and you had furry Gucci slides or something on, and you just super dressed down, and I was like, damn, that's awesome. So then from there I just followed you and just kept up with your story, kept up with everything you have going on, because obviously, you're successful at a young age and really helping a lot of people based off of, your company that you have and everything else that you have going on. So with that, why don't you just go ahead and start it off and just let us know where you're from and exactly what you do, and kind of just go into your story.
So I'm Christianna Hurt, like you said. I'm 24 years old. I'm a student at UCF. It's the 3rd largest school in the country. My bread and butter is e-commerce on the platform Shopify. A year ago, I started doing eBay, and that's a stable, 4 or 5 figures of profit a month that I actually have 100% outsourced. Wealthy College Kid is a digital educational platform in which I teach people how to make a legitimate, profitable digital income online through traffic generation for the small business owner, yourself, or for products online through e-commerce. I've been doing this almost 3 years now. I love it. I love it to the point where Wealthy College Kid is now trademarked. I have it tattooed on my body. It's given me everything. So I feel like I had no choice but to give it all of me and give it, something permanent on me that'll be there for the rest of my life.
Awesome. So with Wealthy College Kid, most people think once you pursue entrepreneurship, you're supposed to drop out of college, or you're an idiot if you go to college or whatever, but you've kind of fused the two together. And you're seeing success in business, and then you're also still attending school. So where did staying in school fit in your alignment? Because you're proving you can do both.
So actually, that's exactly why I focused on it, because the stigma is if you have a successful business to drop out of school. Well, nobody in my family actually graduated from college, and I'm actually the oldest of 4. I have 3 younger siblings, and I felt like it was important to not only be an example to myself and my family, but my siblings, to show, you never have to choose both. Time management is everything. Balance is everything. And you don't want to ever not be a student. People tell you to never stop learning, but what are you doing to continue your education as an entrepreneur? By putting myself in a classroom setting, I never forget how to start learning and stop learning. I never forget how to sit still and really retain information the way that you do when you go into classroom. For me, I have the biggest takeaway from that. I'm able to consistently learn new things. I'm still able to watch a course, take notes, and be able to retain that information, 3-6 months down the line.
There we
go.
What
happened.
All right.
I think it's just cycling through. It's all right. We'll cut it up.
Okay.
Cool. So you kind of explained, kind of why you done both, but let's kind of rewind a little bit. Because I'm pretty sure I don't know if you always had, this successful mindset or not, but kind of explain your journey before getting involved with your business and doing all of these great things.
So I actually was working at Twin Peaks when I was dating somebody that already had made 7 figures online. They had a fallout with their business partner and wanted me to put a lease in my name. So I did with fake income. The lease was for $3,000 a month. Obviously, I didn't make or even have $3,000 at that time. It had 1 month free rent from the time that I signed. Obviously, within a couple of days, not even like 48 hours after signing that lease, I realized that, this is why you don't sign leases for people. Don't ever put anything in your name, and definitely don't ever move in with a boy at 21 years old. I just buckled down, and I didn't want anybody to be right because everyone did tell me not to sign the lease, and I did realize why. I had till June to figure out where to find $3,000. So I immediately, jumped into affiliate marketing, selling other people's products, going live every day, posting in groups, anything that I could possibly do, even going into the bank, lying and getting a credit card for $5,000 to being able to make the rent money June 2nd and pay the rent, which was really, really, a huge blessing. To jumping into e-commerce in July, and then September of 2016, making my first 6 figures in revenue in about 21 days, I think. I made 89 grand in 21 days. So shortly after that, crossing 100 grand wasn't anything. To just consistently, doing e-commerce, running Facebook advertising to different products online, testing different products. Wealthy College Kid didn't actually come about until I was evicted for him flooding the apartment because I left. And I refused to come back. So he flooded the penthouse and flooded all of the units below us, to costing an $18,000 eviction, to me coming back, getting another penthouse, and birthing Wealthy College Kid because my friend was like, hey, I'm doing MCA. If you guys don't know what MCA is, it was like a direct sales company for freaking roadside assistance. So basically AAA for $40, but it paid you out $80. So, when your friends are entrepreneurs and you're an entrepreneur and your friend says join something, you don't care what it is, you join because you're a friend. Like, I'm selling tampons. Okay, like, cool, let's try. So I joined that, and I remember my first check being $12 because I only knew how to do advertisements for products. I didn't know how to recruit. Like, I really just sucked at it. I've never gotten on the phone to close a sale, and I didn't plan to. And to this day, I still haven't gotten on the phone to close a sale. I just think it's socially awkward. But he was like, just go to the bank, get like $5 grand out, count it, and just make a video. So that's what I did. I was in Kentucky with my friend. It was like literally like 17 degrees. I went and got cash out the bank, counted it out, like, hey guys, I can teach you guys how to make money posting ads on Facebook. I went viral too many times to thousands and thousands of comments. So I had an affiliate offer that I turned Wealthy College Kid into an actual offer. I had thousands of people asking me, how to build a website, how to make money, how to do this, how to do that. So I began creating online courses for all these people that, obviously started out as free, to $20 to $100 to grow into that $997 to now $3,000 to $5,000, because I have thousands of people making 4, 5, and 6 figures online. So that offer really transformed into a business, and then transformed into an actual brand by its growth from just viral videos and just having that influx of thousands of people asking me how to do this, how to do that, until MCA eventually changed their compensation plan and completely died. I was able to take the market by storm because, I did e-commerce. I did have a legitimate business model and make money before that ever was anything. Those videos just put me in front of the right audience and the right people, to now like 43,000 people are enrolled and have an account on wealthycollegekid.com, having 15, 20 courses of different things, having a successful published book that you can actually order, to now working on trying to get it into bookstores, trying to do, college seminars and things like that. So I really just took what I actually saw it one time just on my timeline. I actually don't remember who posted it, that if you have an offer, you don't have a business. If you have a business, you don't have a brand. So before all of this personal branding, like shoot out, like just out of nowhere in 2019, I was already established as a brand and as an entrepreneur before the wave ever even hit. Like, I was already at the party,
Right. So, you mentioned like you had all these people like reaching out to you. You have 43,000 people enrolled like in Wealthy College Kids. Like, that's a huge number. Like what pushes you to like want to help people?
I know what it's like to not have money for rent and not want to call anybody. I know what it's like to go into Gucci and have to be like, how much is this? And for me, like, and I know what it's like to go in Whole Foods and have to like count everything in your cart. So for me, like, true freedom is being able to go into places like Whole Foods and throw everything in the cart. I couldn't even tell you the last time that I actually calculated my groceries. And that for me is true freedom, because being able to feed yourself, knowing where your next meal is coming from, and knowing that you can feed others around you is real freedom and real like stress-free life is food, because that's something that we, you know, whether you like it or not, you need it. Like,
Dope, dope. So for you, how is your mindset different? Because I mean, you went through what you went through, and that kind of like motivated you to, you know, progress and to really just go on overdrive with your business and everything. But like, what specifically like changed in your mindset from then to now?
As far as my mindset, I feel like I was always a go-getter. The only thing that I would say a biggest change is I'm a little bit more selfish with my time, as well as I'm not as open to allowing people to take energy from me, because I know how important good energy and a good, you know, a good, just having that good day is so vital to my business. So a lot of times, you know, relationships and people or friends can have a negative reaction or a negative just vibe to you, and then it'll set you back days to kind of just get rid of the bad energy.
Okay.
So would you say that like starting to see success allowed you to say no? Like as a younger person,
Yeah.
always trying to push and accept new opportunities, but you're able to really stay focused.
Yeah, I like what I like, and I like what I've been able to do, and I have my vision. I always tell people, you know, the kids that play with Sims, Animal Crossings, Minecraft, civilization type games where you build out civilizations, I try to explain to people that I'm not building an empire, I'm building a civilization, in a society. Not to like sound culty, but just like that cult like mentality, like, you know what I mean? Like a large following of people. Like I have merchandise, I have streams of income, I'm able to teach people how to create their own courses, I'm able to do books, and you know, I'm trying to get to the point where it's like ketchup. I mean, what brand of ketchup is there? Heinz. Do you know any other brands? No. Can you go anywhere? I could go to Bali, I could go to hell, I could go to California. What can I ask for at a restaurant? Ketchup. So I'm really like striving to be like ketchup. Just everywhere you turn, you just know what it is, you know where it's from, you know who it's about, and you want to be a part of it because you want to create that lifestyle. You want to create an income where, you know, whether you're in your phone, your tablet, or your computer, you're able to create some type of money. Either if your back is up against a wall, or if you're just, you know, looking for an extra $500 a week.
Awesome. Awesome. So, one reason that we're pretty excited about this episode is because like you're actually the second woman interview that we've had. So like before, we had our first one Monday, and before like we couldn't, it was so hard to find just like, you know, women to really get on here. So I reached out to people outside of where we're from, because I just had to go outside of the geographical location. But a lot of our strongest listeners are actually, the strongest supporters are actually women. So like for you and your experience, you know, what advice would you give our female listeners who, you know, want more out of life, or what advice can you give for them to overcome certain obstacles to get to the point that they want to get to in life?
As a female, there's a couple things that, you know, I always feel like I have to stress. Like, number one, if you're in a bad relationship, the average person will leave a bad relationship or domestic violence 7 times before they actually leave. And a lot of people don't trust that process. I know for me, a lot of people did not trust my process. A lot of people, you know, would see certain situations and be like, why are you still there? But I knew the time that I needed to get out. I knew the time and when I was going to get out, and I knew when I was going to leave. So for me, you have to trust yourself and trust your process, and you can't let outsiders change you from what you're ready to do and what you're not ready to do. As well as, don't be afraid to be selfish with your time. Understand, you know, female entrepreneurship is scarce. And like I always tell people, like I'm like a Pokemon out here. So like, so don't be afraid, you know, to take risks. Don't be afraid to go to a networking event by yourself. I go a lot. I travel alone a lot. Like probably 90% of my traveling is done alone. And once you get comfortable with it, once you know, understand to look around your surroundings, understand, you know, you don't talk to people at the airport because nobody's business. Like, because you're traveling alone. You know, a lot of people have traveled with me and they're like, well, what about, like, I don't talk to people in TSA. I don't talk to people in line. I don't talk to any, like, we don't have anything to talk about because I am by myself. Like, you don't need to know that. So there's certain things that you just pick up along the way. And for me, as a female entrepreneur and just a real social influencer, understand it's okay to be the only one, because eventually people are going to follow. And when they do, it's going to be crazy.
Got you.
That's some incredible advice. That's like, because I feel like we said, a lot of our supporters are women and they reach out, but it's very hard for us to, obviously in relationships, we're from a totally different field. Obviously from business, we're from a totally different field. Like there's different things that make it harder for us to relate to on that level. So if you were to give, you said some advice like, respect like your own time, basically be selfish, with your own time and, protect your energy. If you were to give kind of some practical steps, how do you protect your energy? Like what are you doing to protect your energy? Because we agree it's so important, but we have different factors going.
I block everyone. I just don't care. I just block everyone.
Yeah.
I go on dates like probably like 4 days a week. Like I don't care. Like I just feel like I'm 24. I don't have any kids. So like, and I will tell you guys, like 99.9% of my dates, people Google me. So then you see a lot of overcompensation, a lot of $300-$400 dinners on a first date. When you guys both know, you don't take a girl that you don't know her last name to Eddie V's, Ruth Chris, but because, people see that I make a certain amount of money, they feel they got to overcompensate. So I just, I do a lot of just one time and done. Like, we're just not going to talk after that, because I see that I know within the first 45 seconds if you are equal to me mindset wise. And if you can build something with me, like if you have anything to bring to the table, I know that off top. And it's not always going to be equal or greater income. Sometimes as a female, emotions can be your biggest enemy. I feel like that's true in so many ways. Your emotions can be your biggest enemy is yourself. And with a female, emotions are your biggest enemy. So for me, I know within the first 45 seconds, if you can, help me be a consistent way, a lot of people call women bipolar just because, like maybe this morning I'm just not feeling it, but after I eat, I'm fine. It's normal. And if anybody tries to convince you different, like they just haven't been around the right person. Like somebody that stabilizes your emotions can be the biggest win. Like somebody that just, shows you how to be stable. That for me, I feel like, within a minute. So if you don't have that energy and if I pick up my phone, I know that I'm just like, okay, here's another person that just wants to ask me 101 questions about how I got here, which is fine. Like I do it every single week. I mean, just don't be afraid to go out there. Like relationships can hold you back. I wasted probably a good 6 figures in relationships. So just understand, like, it's okay, to consistently go out. It's okay. Like every way now for an hour and a half, I'm going out, which I never used to do, but I know it is for me emotionally and to grow as a female and as a human, that I need to go out. I need to socialize and I need to, just see what's outside. Like go outside.
Go outside. I like it.
Go outside.
Awesome. So, you mentioned mindset. So to you, mindset is definitely like more important than, how much someone is making.
You can build them up. I've built up God knows how many randos that have Shopify stores that are making like probably a good 5-10 grand a month now. Like, God knows how. Like I know off top at least 6 people that I didn't even like deal with on a serious level, just because it comes naturally for me to talk, and then like some people just pick it up. But there's another end to that. You talk to some people till you're blue, put me on, and you're like, watch a video, and they don't watch it. So then you're just like, okay, bye. Like it's not my problem.
Right.
Is that how you do most of your learning? Is you watch a lot of videos or follow other podcasts?
I actually don't even listen to my own podcast. I know that's horrible. I just can't. I don't know. I can't focus on it. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't read books. I read the books that I'm forced to read, for school, or read that type of textual stuff. I watch advertising ways, didn't do those ideas I come with. I make up like myself. So, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Got you. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, that's dope. Definitely glad that you were able to hop on. One thing that we usually do with our podcast guest is, we ask you to leave something like with our listeners. So anything that you think that you've experienced in your journey that can help someone get from point A to point on their way to point Z, because like a lot of our listeners, like they're people who want to change, they want to grow, but they're just like looking for some guidance or like practical steps in order to get to where they want to be. Because I know in our lives, we were at a certain point, but it just took, that one book or meeting that one person or going to that one event that literally just like changed everything for us. And we just, from there, just like went skyrocketed forward. So like, what advice would you give to someone like that who wants to change and wants to grow?
My biggest advice is going to be to take that first step. And if you don't know what that first step is, watch my Facebook lives on Wealthy College Kid, watch my YouTube videos, watch my Instagram lives, my first and last name, Christianna Hurt. Like, take that free value, watch it live, because you're not going to get any closer than a live stream and have that, that platform and that opportunity to ask me whatever you want. And I have so much patience. Like, I get on live with people that don't know what e-commerce are. And I sit there and I spoon feed for 45 minutes. Where does the product come from? How will people buy it? How will it? And I just sit there and explain it step by step. It's okay. There's no stupid questions, but you don't know until you ask. And the biggest problem that I see is people don't know what to ask. So once you know what to ask, you've already beat half the problem.
Got you. So feed off of that, how would you advise people to find out what to ask? Because I know for me, for example,
watching videos, watching a live stream, listen to people talk, because that's going to spark something in you, and you're going to know exactly what you need to ask to find out where you need to go as a person.
Got you. Yeah, that's good advice. That's good advice. Because for me, I actually dropped out of school. And one thing I had trouble with in school was I didn't know what to ask. So I just like stayed quiet. So I know there's a lot of people in different fields that, have that like same problem. So that's pretty good advice. So awesome. So yeah, if you just want to go ahead and plug in your stuff one more time.
Guys, just Google Wealthy College Kid. Find me on any social media, Wealthy College Kid, and then follow me and hit me up. I always respond.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And then one last kind of like closing regard with when they follow you, what are they going to expect to see from you in the future? What are you moving towards right now?
8 figures and being way more mainstream, coming out. I just did an episode with Jubilee for middle ground millionaires versus minimum wage. That was big. I'm getting a lot more publications, and I'm doing a lot more speaking engagements. You guys can find me in New York City, May 25th for Sean Kelly, owner of Jersey Champs, another 7-figure e-commerce brand, for a mastermind there. And then just, follow me online to see where I'll be at next.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on the recording with us. We're going to shut down the recording part, and then we're going to go into the studio and plug in the rest of the episode. Do you have any last words for our fans?
Yep, I'm 4'11", but so many look up to me.
Awesome. I love that. Awesome. So we'll see you guys in the studio.
And we're back. So one of the most mind-blowing things to me about Christianna's story and her journey is her unique path on how she does it. So, for example, with our podcast, we talk about changing your mind, which she does, and staying focused, which she does. But we also talk about, following certain people or reading certain books or following like the path laid out ahead. But she's kind of built it her own and made it her own way. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really impressive, especially as, a young woman, to be able to not only take her own path, but then to even say in the recording, it's okay to be the only one. Mm-hmm. It's okay to do it yourself. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be alone, and you can still figure that out and do it together.
Yep.
So she made one of the biggest things to me is 89,000 in 21 days. Yeah, once she jumped in,
yeah,
the exponential growth of that. If that happened with one of our listeners or even yourself, how would you apply that right now? Because she obviously took it and doubled down. What would you do
if I was to have those type of results
in 21 days? Boom.
Oh man, I don't honestly. I don't even know. I would be just shook that first time doing that. I would just be shook, but I'll just let it settle in and do it again.
Yeah.
But to that exponential growth thing, man, like that type of growth can happen. It's not something that's like far fetched. Like, if you just know what you want and just go after and work to obtain to get it, it can happen. Those type of results can happen, but you have to, be focused on what direction you're trying to go. So she's definitely a true testament to that. So
right, and be focused on one thing. And another thing I think Christianna addressed, which is something that this podcast is about, your mental growth, your mental stability, your energy, how much she protects it in her own unique path, going on different dates where she says guys will literally Google her and then try to overcompensate and she can see right through it. Or people taking for like $300 dinner dates on the first meal. And then she ends up taking those guys and teaching them how to make money.
right.
And teaching them into 6-figure earners, just like that on the side. It's really impressive that she has kind of found that in her path, but she really follows kind of her own dreams, her own wishes. So some advice for some of our listeners and followers, some of the ladies especially, we have an amazing following of young women who are really pushing forward. Some of the thoughts I had about that was, really pay attention to Christianna and her journey and pay attention to how she does things in her own unique way, because on this podcast, our whole concept is to bring you new ideas to think about, not to tell you what to think about. So to bring you new information to help you flux, change, flow your mindset, so then you can find your own path and do it your own way. What do you think, just kind of following, Christiana's episode, are some of the unique things that you do that kind of have helped you out? Because she has her own unique way of, for example, watching videos instead of reading books, sticking to her job instead of chasing a bunch of crazy opportunities, and teaching others going live. What are some of the unique things you think you do, or that anybody could do like right now to get started and take what she said and put it into action?
I think one unique thing that I've done to like help program, just to being able now to like do stuff like habitually now. I have notebooks at the crib. Like I have like 7 or 8 notebooks filled with writing literally the same thing every single day, all the way through the page. Like every single page is filled. So I think for me, that's like helped me where I'm at now to be more focused, because if you can literally write the same thing down day by day by day, that trains you to go and do other things that same way, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So
right,
that's one thing for me.
Dope, man. Dope. And I don't have any myself personally. I just wanted to ask you, because the value that Christianna brought was so unique in comparison to other guests we could bring on, because her success goes far past how much money she's made. She literally has thousands of people making more money than they could even dream up.
She's helping people.
She's helping people, yeah. And to have 43,000 people enrolled in her courses at such a young age is just mind-boggling. She's winning Women of the Year awards and
Orlando.
in Orlando, and being on bigger shows, getting 600,000 views in the first day. And so I was really grateful to have her on an episode, and to be able to bring that value and share her unique perspective on the journey. And so, do you have any closing thoughts or remarks or anything about Christiana's episode and how people can take it and run with it?
Not really specifically, but I mean, if you're definitely looking to, find some way to advance in your life, whether it's financially or just to learn a skill or something, just check out her stuff. I mean, you can see the testimonials on her page. Check her out. It's very affordable. Something that, she has results for that's been duplicated. So just check her out.
Yeah. Agreed. And that's the same thing I would say too. Just check it out and be that, let her kind of be that resource, and she'll be able to help you in a way that when we asked, on the episode, when you don't know what to do, how do you find out? Go watch somebody doing something just a little bit better, and she'll help you discover that. And so thank you to Christianna for being on an episode. And thank you, to all the lady bosses and the females out there pushing and moving forward. So that wraps up this week. You guys can find us everywhere as at MindFluxed on everything, MindFluxed. Our audio is brought by Benji Got Beats at Benji Got Beats. Visuals brought by Cheddar Ches, Cheddar_Ches_. I'm one of your hosts, T Parm Teach.
And other host, J Matt. I'm gonna say my IG. I was about to say Bow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Bow.
my IG is IM.JMatt. But Bow.
Bow. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Peace.